everyone, it's Magdalena, Wolf of Coins. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I'm coming to you with a review of the book by Nathan M. Hall, Path of the Moonlit Hedge, Discovering the Magic of Animistic Witchcraft. And I will start this video again with an apology because I have myself requested this book over a year ago, I believe, and then I was extremely slow reading it. So this is a review copy that I have received from Llewellyn. Thank you so much, Llewellyn, for sending me this book, and I'm again very sorry it took me so long. It was due to my personal problems in my life that I couldn't do this review sooner, and I also did not want to do this in a rush, not having read this book cover to cover thoroughly. Now I have done this, and I will do my best to do an honest review. Sorry to the author as well, but as he mentions in one of the chapters, time doesn't have to be seen as a linear thing. Maybe we're on this part of the spiral again. It is the right time to do this review. And the reason I have requested this book for a review was that I'm interested in animistic approach. Well, to life, not only magic, just to life in general. I will be doing this review from a perspective of someone who is not an advanced witch or anything. I'm still like a dabbler, beginner. I'm learning. I again have this moment in my life when I'm learning a lot about these topics of witchcraft, and this will be my perspective. So if you're an experienced practitioner, then my review might not, include some insights that you would necessarily have. These are just my thoughts, and I hope you will enjoy the video. So this is the beautiful cover with this hair and butterflies and of course the moon. And I will quickly show you this is the author, Nathan Hall. These are the contents. So this is like everything. And I feel like the first part of this book was less interesting to me than the second part, but I'm not sure whether this is because of the contents, how they resonated with me, or because of what person I was starting this book and what person I was when I was finishing it. So I don't know, but anyway, we start with fundamentals, as he calls it. There is the foreword by Christopher Penchak, and then the author talks about what are the terms that he will be using. However, me being a beginner, not having read too many books on witchcraft, from time to time, I was a bit lost. Like, what is he talking about? What is, for example, what is staying spiritually clean? I would like to know, because, this is not really obvious to me. So there was those moments that I felt like he is talking to a more advanced person who knows all this stuff and doesn't need any explanations. For me, sometimes it was like, I need to read more books. So yeah, we have common misconceptions about animism, so we can be on the same page with the author. Oh yeah, I have a quote here that I really liked. If you're not talking to the plants growing around you or the wild animals seen in your ecosystem, it's time to begin. Oh, I love this. I love this quote. This is something that I do on a daily basis. They basically seem like the plants in my neighborhood feel like friends, really. I say hi to them whenever I'm passing. Sometimes I stop for a longer chat, but generally, yeah, love this quote. So yeah, I suppose this the beginning is less interesting because this is this part where you need to know where you both with the author, where you both stand and what it will be all about. Then fundamentals, as I wrote here, is for newbies, so essential things like grounding. And I will tell you, this book has a lot of exercises. So you can, what I did was I just recorded myself reading them, and then I did them while listening to my own voice with my funny Polish accent. But yeah, so you have grounding, shielding, and an interesting thing is later on, recently I was looking through the books on witchcraft that I own, and I thought, because I needed shielding for something. And oh yeah, and this is my funny little symbol for recording. I don't know why this looks like this. This is just something I put it where next to exercises that I could record. So where was I? Yeah, so I was like, yeah, shielding, this is everywhere. And then I skimmed through those books, and no, it's not everywhere, but it is here. So I think this is important. That he starts with those basics that are necessary, and not only for a witch, but also for a regular sensitive person, I think. This is an exercise that you do a lot. This is Earth and Stellar Darkness meditation, and this is very useful for me because you can get centered, connected both to the earth and to the stars above you. So this is a really good one, I think. Then there is a chapter on the healing journey, and look at these. These are so pretty. Yeah, we got more exercises. What I also liked is that the author shares his own experiences, so you can get not only the dry theory, but also examples, like what happened to him in his life. Yeah, here I was like... Also, I felt like the author is talking to someone who has much more knowledge than myself. So he's mentioning the star goddess, and I didn't know who he meant. Some kind of goddess, but who does he mean? He explains actually who it is at the end of the book, somewhere here. So it's explained, but at the first glance, I was like, what's that? I suppose that's a bit more editing, could do a lot of good to this book, because sometimes I just got a bit confused. This is so important. Etheric chords. You have everything explained. He explains about various parts of your soul, or various souls that, according to some old traditions, also in old Europe, people have. This is interesting. If you haven't heard about it, it's very interesting, because, you know, I grew up in Poland, where 90-something% people declare to be Catholic. So you grow up with the default Catholic religion, and they teach you those like church teachings, and you have to know them by heart, and you repeat them. And there was this part where you declare that a human soul is immortal, and how it would be in English, that you cannot divide it. And I never thought much about it until later, when I started reading about souls and pre-Christian traditions. And I was like, yeah, well, why make people repeat that and declare that you cannot divide a soul if it's obvious that you have only one soul? Well, it's not obvious, it turns out. But coming back to the chords, this is also an important one, I think. So he first explains things, and then you have this exercise, which again you can record and do it while listening to your own charming voice. Resetting your energetic state. Okay, then I got to shadow working, and I felt like this is not something I myself would do alone. At this point in my life, I prefer to do it with a specialist. So I felt a bit about it. I think that at some points in your life, you don't have enough objective insight into yourself to do things like that. But this is my opinion for the present moment. Maybe it will change. For now, at least for me, I'm not doing this by myself. So I kind of skipped these exercises here. Then there is an interesting chapter on art and magic. So here he talks about those parts of the soul, or various souls that we have, and he talks about fetch, so the animal instinct, and he says that this part of you can express itself through art. And well, for me it was wonderful, because I love painting, I love creating. So it was very interesting to me to read those exercises, for example, when he tells you to just create really freely, and then after having expressed your emotions through colors and shapes, you can use your own work to make a sigil. So he explains how to do it, but he also gives you different ways to do it. If you just sat with an empty blank page for an hour and you did nothing, you still can make a sigil. So this is really cool that he gives you options. But then again, I had this moment of pause, like, okay, we're making a sigil, but what is it for? I'm dumb. I don't know. Later on, he mentions that this is to... Yeah, here, remember the purpose of the sigil you've created is to give yourself an energetic zap that resonates your intention and is empowered through the joy and innocence and so on. But at the beginning, I was like, wait a minute, okay, sigil, I'm making a sigil, but what is it for? So I was a bit confused again. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I am, who knows? Then there is chapter 5, Rewilding Your Souls. And what did we have here? Oh yeah, orienting. This is something that I've been doing for over a year now, and it has also, I believe, caused a massive shift in my life for the better. It doesn't mean my life was easy, but it helped put me on the path of building a better future for myself. So orienting, anchoring myself as a fully fledged member of this place where I live. I find that this is very important, that we so often cut ourselves out. We, for example, start living more in our spiritual life, disregarding the material around us, or you're more into intellectual part of life, and again we disregard, for example, our bodies, our environment, and so on. So this is a very important point, I think. Well, again, more exercises. And I don't know what happened here. Why is this here? I think it's an accident. But yeah, here I also did not really do the exercises, because I was already doing a lot of stuff then, and I just thought it would be an overload. But yeah, he talks about getting more into your environment and to yourself, kind of. Then chapter 6 is called First Contact, the Spirit of Your Land. And yeah, this is a chapter where he recounts his experience with the powerful spirit of the land, and he tells you how to do it yourself. And this is so important. We come back to this orienting part, like, I live in this land, so I need a connection to this land. So there, again, exercises. I really like that he has a very practical approach. As he says, he's a Taurus. I'm a Taurus myself, so I do appreciate those little things that make your life easier. So he explains how, what kind of stuff you should take with you when you're going into the wilderness, and not only, an offering, but also some water for yourself to drink. Not only for the offering, but for yourself. Take care of yourself. Take take some snacks, and so on. I love it. This is very Taurus-like. Yeah, he reminds you not to take herbs with seeds, because you don't want to spread any foreign seeds in the place where you're going to, because they might be, you know, this kind of species that will take place of the regular plants and disturb the ecosystem and so on. This is very important. Yeah, oh, this is also very important. Anthropomorphism and you. He makes the reader challenge their own approach to reality, in fact, because in animism, it's not all about humans, and we are just a part of the puzzle, so he writes about that. It's important too. Here I spilled my tea. In chapter 7. Chapter 7, I drew this little mushroom here because here he gives you exercises to connect with spirit of fungi, which I thought was awesome. Personally, I think it is awesome. And I had this moment also with I always like to see cultural differences, because I come from Poland, and here it's our kind of national sport in summer and in autumn to go mushroom picking. Everyone just the woods are filled with mushroom pickers, and most people know more or less which mushrooms are edible, which are not. I myself learned with my grandma, going on the walks with her to pick mushrooms in the woods. So for me, it's this kind of knowledge that is pretty natural. But yeah, reading foreign books makes me realize, okay, it's not so for everyone everywhere. And this is very important what he writes, that all fungi are edible. Some fungi are not edible more than once. And I love that it is a quote from Terry Pratchett. So basically you get like a manual how to start a relationship with chosen species of fungi, and how to make wait a minute, is it an amulet or amulet? Your mushroom amulet. This was so interesting. And he always reminds us to ask for permission, because this is all about relationships. It's not about taking what you want and using it. This is about mutual respect between you and another person, be it human spirit, be it a land spirit, be it a mushroom spirit. I love this. And again, as I said, there was my tea. This is a well-loved book, because I feel like I will be coming back to those chapters. Maybe I will reread those chapters at the beginning to see how I would react to them these days. But certainly for the exercises that I did not do because I was not there at the moment, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that is it. What you do with the amulet. what you can use it for. And the author gives you a recipe for his Florida water. And actually, he doesn't give you many recipes in this book. And I see it as a plus. So hear me out. I sometimes when I read a book and I see like, I don't know, 10 recipes, I don't feel like I can do any one of them, like any of them. I feel overwhelmed. And with this here, you have one recipe for one Florida water, and this is it. You can use it, you don't have to use it, but it's there. It's his recipe, and it's not overwhelming. Please let me know if you sometimes feel like that too, like there are books filled with those recipes for, I don't know, for oils or incense and whatnot, and this is just too much for you, little reader. Does anyone else feel like that, or am I alone in this? Please let me know. Yeah, then Chapter 8, Meeting Your Spirit Guides, Allies, and Other Fretful Beings. So, he discusses various types of beings, and it's also about animals and plants. He also talks about land wights. I felt like this reminded me about Genius Loci, so the spirit of the place, but maybe it's not exactly the same thing, but I made this note to explain it to my dumb little brain. He also mentions working with the dead, which is, you know, for a person who follows Slavic traditions, this is something you simply, it's hard to omit when you're studying, when you're learning about Slavic traditions. Slavic people always had, and to this day, they do have a strong connection to their dead. And this is a very important part of my practice. So I loved that he talked about sorry, I had to let my son in. He just came back from school. But this part about having Christian ancestors, but yourself not being Christian, how you can approach this, how he approached this. This is something important for me because, as I said, in Poland you usually have Christian ancestors, and this might be some kind of an obstacle for you to, like, how you reconcile talking to the dead, which is not really approved by the church, with them being Christian in their lives. So he talks about it, and I love that. Yeah, he also gives you an exercise you can record. He also talks about working with like famous dead or specialized dead, like lawyers, when you need support in the courtroom and stuff like that. This was very interesting. So yeah, then number 9, time. And as I mentioned at the beginning, this is a very interesting chapter. It challenges our modern perception of time. He even gives you exercises to where was it? Stopping linear time. Again, this is interesting. And he always reminds you to, you know, align yourself and get the energy you need and center yourself, stuff like that. He always remembers about that. The vehicle of time. Time magic. Yeah, it is an interesting one, this chapter, and I need to ponder more on this topic. It's food for thought. I will always say thought. Food for thought. Okay. Chapter 10, The Gate at the Edge of the Garden. So this is about going between worlds. Or inducing a vision, or stuff like that. Then he talks about the witch's Sabbat and where it came from, what you can gain from it in a way, and what you can experience if you go there. He of course gives you the exercise of joining the Sabbat. And then we get to the conclusion. All paths are under the moonlight. So, yeah, some summary here. These are my unrelated notes in Polish. Don't bother. In the appendix, we get even more exercises, and I really liked it because these are, how to put it, they are not very specific. You can tailor them to your own needs, but there are also like very useful ones and basic ones. Like, for example, how to bless your things or consecrate them. There is an exercise to create a blessing candle. And I marked this one because he writes about herbs that you can use for dress the candle. And here, any herbs you plan on using should be dried and ground in a mortar and pestle or using the modern magician's holy coffee grinder. And I laughed so hard because, again, this is the Taurus. He is practical and he he gives you really useful advice. Yeah, why suffer if you can actually use a coffee grinder? Because he mentions, people wrinkle their noses at coffee grinders until they are tasked with grinding up bay leaves, which are top of the blessing list. After 20 minutes of attempting to mortar and pestle up bay leaves, you'll likely be ready to throw a boot through the window. You've been warned. So, actually, he inspired me to buy my own coffee grinder with this cute little drawer. Sorry, looking for the word here. But yeah, this is my holy coffee grinder. Hello. Say hello, grinder. Hi. What else? Banishing. Exercises, preparing the banishing candle. Yeah, these are like really, really useful things that are very, very practical. Yeah, that's all I can say for now. And you also get the selected bibliography. And this is finally my review of this book. So to sum this up, it was a very interesting read for me, and maybe because I took so much time to read through it, it feels like I will take away from it more, if you know what I mean. I love the approach to persons, so the animistic approach. I like the practical side of this book, and I feel like this is a book that I will be keeping on my shelf and coming back to, for there are like loads of exercise that I did simply not do yet. And I'm very grateful for this review copy. Please let me know what you think. Do you know any good animistic books that you could recommend? I would love to hear about it. And any other thoughts that come to your mind, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye! Of course, like and subscribe as usual. I always forget about that, but yeah. I also have an Etsy shop that you have a link to in my video description box. And yeah, take care. Take care, my dear viewers. Bye.